and welcome to Accelerate Your Cloud Migration for Financial Services by PagerDuty. My name is Joe Pusateri, and I'm a solution architect with PagerDuty. Today's consumers are managing their financial lives from mobile devices. We bank, trade, and make payments on the go. We expect these experiences to be uninterrupted and always available. We're talking about money here. It has to be perfect every time. So when something breaks, a minute is all you have. It takes less than a minute of downtime to send consumers looking for other options. But the average time to resolve an incident is between 6 minutes to an hour. Every time there's an incident, you're at risk of losing your customers and potentially millions of dollars in revenue. You need to think about how to streamline incident response with modern approaches to identify, resolve, and ultimately prevent critical incidents so that your customers have the always-on experience that they expect and demand. The financial services world is changing. Today, people of all ages and demographics consume experiences digitally. This has had a huge impact on how organizations innovate, engage, and interact with their customers. New technologies are helping companies create incredible new experiences for their customers, empower and enable their employees, and innovate in ways that they couldn't have imagined even a few years ago. Every industry, in every geography, and companies of all sizes are part of this digital transformation. Financial services have a greater need to exceed customers' expectations and provide uninterrupted service securely. Unicorns in the industry have added more pressure on established brands by setting a high bar with amazing digital services and brand promise. So the financial sector is now leading transformation with adopting new technologies and modern practices such as DevOps and agile. CIOs view DevOps as a way to bring more value to their customers in safer and efficient ways. It helps them to address compliance, security, risk, and governance strategies. And as the push to migrate to the cloud intensifies, new techniques are needed to manage your applications. There's a need to rethink incident response. Centralized approaches just don't cut it anymore. They're inefficient. They waste precious time and delay incident resolution that hurts your brand and customer loyalty. In order to provide that always-on experience, you need to get proactive and get ahead of those issues instead of fixing things after they break. These new ways of working, incorporating new technologies, automation, and empowering people to drive change and make faster, smarter decisions for the business and for the customers is what will help you become competitive and innovative. So, what's driving this change? Financial institutions have been feeling the crunch of consumer demands. As physical locations become less and less relevant, consumers want to manage their financial lives digitally, in real time, from anywhere. This means banking, trading, retirement planning, and you name it. This created a huge opportunity for a few newcomers to give customers exactly what they want. These innovative companies have funding, nimble teams, and the excitement of something new. And they delivered. Established financial organizations found themselves at a crossroads. CIOs needed to prioritize digital transformation in order to survive and thrive. Digital transformations span across people, process, and technology. Financial organizations in general have a low risk tolerance and are highly regulated. The move to the cloud, though, brings flexibility and cost savings, but also raises some challenges. In the cloud, everything moves faster. There are more moving parts and it's different security perimeters. As you transition to microservices, you have to create clear ownership and accountability. That also means rethinking incident response and moving away from the central IT model and adopting a hybrid approach. Chaotic incident response wastes precious time. During an incident, historically, the answer was simply to throw people at the problem until an expert is found, guilty until proven innocent. This is hugely inefficient. It wastes time and it pulls people away from their day jobs so that they can't innovate for their customers. Without foundational service ownership mappings, incident management becomes chaos. When responders get woken up at 3 a.m., they don't have the tools to immediately answer the most fundamental questions. First, what's broken? What underlying piece of technical infrastructure is alerting or having an issue? Second, who's responsible? Who owns the service and who needs to take immediate action? And lastly, what's the impact? What's the consequence on other technical services in the infrastructure or other teams? And what's the ultimate impact to the customer and to our business as a whole? Zoom calls like the one you see here attempt to answer these questions in a reactive manner when seconds count. $2.5 million per year. Now this is just an average cost, but it could be much higher, especially for financial institutions where downtime can impact millions of customers and millions in revenue. Now there are a lot of products that can and are used in digital transformation, DevOps, hybrid ops, and cloud migration. However, PagerDuty really brings this all together for our customers. We facilitate and drive organizations to develop a more mature incident response process by making it easier to take advantage of best practices. As we said at the beginning, it's all about delivering an always-on experiences for customers. For example, Equifax values the improved operational efficiency with PagerDuty by automating the tedious manual process of finding the right runbooks to know who to call, and so that they now acknowledge and fix problems faster, to the tune of over $1 million and almost 20,000 hours of labor. The benefits of PagerDuty can be enormous when you consider the cost of business disruptions. So, when we're talking about incident response, let's understand how PagerDuty helps. The first issue is the practice of having a centralized team look at, triage, and categorize every alert that comes in. The solution that removes this bottleneck is to empower your teams with service ownership. This means that your people write the code, ship it, and own it in production. Rather than having a central team manage and triage everything that's coming in, the signals go straight to the service owners. They are the ones who understand the data coming in from the various monitoring tools and the rest of the tech stack. They know what's changed. They have the specialized knowledge to fix things fast, ideally before they become bigger problems. This dramatically reduces the amount of time to get from a signal to a resolution when done well. Rather than hours to identify the cause and the required fix, you're able to do it in minutes. It helps you also to avoid many problems altogether. The fact that the people writing the code own it in production day and night means they tend to write higher quality code. It also means that there are shorter feedback loops with customers because they directly see how their code is used in the wild and the challenges that arise. It creates a learning culture. Now, I'll caveat all of the potential in this solution with the fact that it relies on a lot of trust. Trust in your people to be accountable when it matters. Trust that they'll be there when they get the call. By configuring AWS services to send alarm notifications to PagerDuty rather than directly to individuals or perhaps groups of people, you plug into a better incident management process. Using schedules and escalations, noise reduction and automation, PagerDuty can own the issue from the center. Now, as the incident is being worked, other systems always need to be updated, like ServiceNow or Jira. PagerDuty can do that for you, allowing those systems users to work where they are and communicate bidirectionally, saving those responders the time and annoyance of double entry. In some teams, many issues are already known and the runbooks already developed for them. It's typically the responsibility then of the responder to locate those runbooks and take those actions. We could configure EventBridge to accept a trigger from PagerDuty to launch a task or sequence of tasks, to perform diagnostics, or even take remediation steps on behalf of the responder. Rather than maintaining a large number of AWS accounts with the proper authorization to run those scripts, we can instead allow PagerDuty to securely push an event to EventBridge and take the appropriate action. Actions like Lambda functions, or EC2 and S3 API calls. We might do things like scale an instance or make a backup copy or pull statistics from a suspicious EC2 instance. Placed at the center, PagerDuty can orchestrate the correct response in all situations. And integrated into the other systems that are part of your incident management process, whether on-prem or in AWS, PagerDuty can accelerate your migration to the cloud. Now let's talk about where in the process PagerDuty reduces the incident response time or resolution time. An inefficient incident response process can slow you down, costing you time. Manual incident response and resolution processes can take multiple hours to address issues. This is how we break down the 5 stages of the incident. The width of the timeline is the length, but the height represents the volume. Now, with just PagerDuty, you can already achieve dramatic efficiencies in mobilizing teams to work on issues, allowing you to pinpoint just the right teams, as well as in triaging issues, because we help you to see what else is happening that may be related and whether it's happened before. We are also reducing the ingested volume through our event management capabilities. The automation inherent in PagerDuty also drives down resolution time later in the process. Our analytics features, as well as postmortems, help you to understand where to invest in order to prevent issues or to drive down resolution time in the future. So the time savings from the first to the second timeline is already pretty dramatic. But with PagerDuty and Amazon EventBridge, you really gain the benefits of supercharging the last 2 activities. PagerDuty lets responders immediately invoke both diagnostic, think disk space, memory usage, etc., or remediation activities like scaling up or restarting a service to deal with that emergent bad behavior. Collecting basic diagnostic information saves time, making triaging easier. First-line staff aren't necessarily experts in every system. They may not know how to gather enough information to pass on to the SMEs, information which might reveal that it's a common issue, leading to a fast diagnosis. And then being able to take action, even before you notify your team, could resolve the issue and reduce the interruptions your responders get. So the number of incidents that you have to deal with is reduced as well. Now, of course, automation won't solve every problem, but it can help you quickly eliminate scenarios that have previously been seen and help you to begin to standardize your incident response process, since you now know what's been tried and what the results were every time. So now let's zoom out and see the big picture. Again, PagerDuty sits at the center. The left side of the diagram represents the signal noise I mentioned. These are examples of the tools that power your digital operations, each providing rich telemetry data about your environment, but each one does so through a siloed lens that doesn't tell the full story. PagerDuty ingests and contextualizes these signals, leverages machine learning to filter out the noise and then orchestrate the appropriate response, whether it's automated via EventBridge or PagerDuty's Rundeck engine, or human response, or maybe both. And when that response requires the team, PagerDuty can communicate where your responders live in tools like Slack, Teams, and Zoom. And with bidirectional integration to your ITSM tools, we ensure your system of record has real-time updates of response data. All of this is enabled by leveraging 3 foundational capabilities of our platform. The first is our API engine. It's often viewed as our strongest differentiator. We can quickly integrate to the most complex homegrown environments without an army of consultants, and we offer over 600 out-of-the-box integrations as well. Second is our incident response data set, gathered over 13 years and more than 13,000 customers, which feeds our machine learning engine. And lastly, our service-based architecture that instantly identifies impacted technical and business services and the applicable service owners. So, another way to think about this is that PagerDuty empowers the full ROI of your tool stack by translating the telemetry they generate into the appropriate action in real time when seconds matter. So now, let's get into the demo, and so I can show you how this all works. Imagine that an online bank is experiencing a high volume of problems with their online
direct deposits not showing up in their users' account histories. This is impacting a large group of customers and creating a lot of anxiety for them, and they need it fixed yesterday. This type of issue can quickly erode trust and send customers elsewhere. Not only does it need to be fixed right away, but ensuring that it won't happen again is critical for customer retention and trust. So let's dig into what happens. So the incident response process kicks off when an anomalous delay is detected in Amazon and a new alert is sent to PagerDuty. This alert can be automatically correlated with any other similar open issues based on the configuration. This means that multiple alerts about the same problem, and there could be lots of them, would all be grouped into the same incident, reducing the number of notifications that the on-call person has to acknowledge. So I'm going to push a new incident into PagerDuty from Amazon as if this were happening. So when those multiple alerts come in, we're going to take a look and we'll see that they're slowly being grouped into the same incident, because what would normally happen is that a person would get a phone call, an SMS text message, or a push to their app in order to know right away that there's something that they have to look at. But based on the configuration, based on the data that's part of the notification or part of the alert, PagerDuty can decide what team does this belong to and who does it need to be sent to, who needs to be woken up. So let's see if we've gotten that notification yet. And here it is. There's a write to user transaction history that exceeded the retry limit. Let's click into that and see what it's telling me. So now I've got this notification for this incident, and I can scroll down to immediately see that in the time that since the first alerts come, 4 other alerts have come in on the same information. So instead of getting 5 phone calls or 5 pushes or 5 texts, I've gotten 1, because PagerDuty is smart enough to group these into one, knowing that now that I've gotten it, now that it's all in one place, I can acknowledge it and say, I don't need any more phone calls. I'm looking at it. Now that we know that somebody's looking at it, I can get to work on it, and PagerDuty doesn't have to call me out anymore. So what's the information did I get? What did AWS send to me? So I can look at the details of the alert that's come in and be able to start figuring out what do I need to do about it. So let me open these up. Here's the custom details. It's write failure count in EC2 on this instance ID. Well, this is what AWS needs to know about it. Great. Now that I'm working on it, what would I do next? What would you normally do in order to start investigating this issue? Well, I'd want to triage it. I want to find out what do we know. I might have some scripts that I need to run. I might want to go poke around inside the console. So at that point, I can go into the console, go into an SSH session, and start looking up. Well, I forgot my credentials, or maybe I don't have enough authority. Maybe I'm a first line person that doesn't have that authority to run those scripts. Well, PagerDuty makes it very easy to run those scripts ahead of time. So I can now push an event into Amazon Event Bridge, which would then run the scripts for me with the right authorization every time. So when I click here under Run Diagnostics, I'm now able to walk away from it. I didn't have to log in. I didn't have to go. And it's going to write that information back into this incident without me having to leave where I am. In fact, those notes have already come back and given me some information. What else is this going to be able to tell me? Well, PagerDuty starts answering questions that I would normally ask. Is this thing happen? Has this problem happened before? When did it happen? What did we do about it in the past? Has anybody else had this kind of problem in the past? What about other systems that I might be dependent upon? Has something happened with them? Well, the tools that we provide within the platform are things like, has this happened before? So let's look at past incidents. It's going to look up to see if this kind of incident has happened in the past. Today, it's happened a couple times. In the past week, it's happened a few times. But very interestingly, it's happened 2 months ago in a very similar pattern. This is good information. What happened before that's causing this to happen again? So if I'm trying to figure out and trying to investigate within my whole infrastructure, this is great information. Related to that is what other systems are having similar problems at the same time that I am, in order to find out maybe something that I'm dependent upon is also down, or maybe I'm causing trouble for someone else. So when I click on related incidents, I can see that PagerDuty is telling me that another system, the database services technical service, is reporting an alert that the RDS memory use percentage exceeds 99%. That may be a problem that's impacting me. In fact, PagerDuty is giving me an 85% likely origin that problem is impacting my problem. So now I've got a couple arrows pointing toward the same thing. As I scroll up, I can see that under recent changes, it's telling me that we recently had a code deploy. Our CI/CD tools are pushing, code deploy is pushing to PagerDuty every time we push new code out, which means that I now have that information when something goes wrong, that, hey, last week, yesterday, an hour ago, 5 minutes ago, we just pushed out a new code release, and that may be related to the problem you're seeing today. You know, statistically, 80% of all incidents are caused by some kind of change in the environment. So now we have the ability to focus in exactly on what the problem is. It's the database. Well, at this point, I'm not the database person. I need to get that database person related and joining my incident so I can have them help me. We can collaborate together. That means I don't, so do I have to go, back to my yellow pages and look up to see who's on what team, who's on vacation, who's the database person that I want it to relate to? No, I can't. I don't need to do that, because all I need to do is click on add responders, and I need to ask for the database person who's currently on call. I can click onto the escalation policy for the database team, which is now going to reach out and find the right person right away. Right? If I just say we have a problem related to the RDS database. So when I do that, PagerDuty is going to be able to find the right person, know how to reach out to her, whether she responds to phone call or push to the app or a text message, and then ask her to join in working on this incident with me. Very easy to pull those people in, whether I need one person or a bunch of people from different teams, to all kind of work together to solve this problem. So now that I'm working on the problem and PagerDuty is reaching out to get the right people, I can now figure out, get them to figure to answer the questions. We can jump on a conference bridge. That conference bridge has already been provided to us, to them, so now we can all get on and start talking about it. So let's say that the database person is telling me that, we just need to fix the problem. You just need to restart your service. Again, maybe I need to go in SSH in, maybe I need to go in the console, but I need to restart that service. Again, PagerDuty makes it very easy. If we set up an event bridge trigger to push a restart signal to that service, I can do that from here. I can just say restart account history. That's going to go out, put in an event bridge event. I didn't have to do anything more than just push the button that's in PagerDuty. I didn't have to leave PagerDuty at all in order to get that all finished and back up and running. Here we have under our timeline all the things that we've done in this incident, and it's telling me that account history service has been restarted. Now we've successfully triaged and resolved the incident. So now all I need to do is just resolve it in PagerDuty. So this example incident flow makes sense for an infrastructure or an application error, which can be triaged and remediated by a member of our DevOps team. But did you know that PagerDuty can also help with other use cases for AWS? Let's look at a security breach for another example. So here we see that an Amazon S3 block was accessed from somebody who shouldn't have been. And maybe that's something that's a big security concern for us. And the first thing that we'd want to do is hurry up and shut that down and get rid of that access. Amazon's GuardDuty can detect data patterns that point to unauthorized access just like this. Just as it did with the system degradation earlier, PagerDuty will find the right team, an on-call person in security, to notify urgently, because seconds count when a security breach is underway. I really want to shut that down right away. I don't want to wait for a person to get on and start pushing buttons. I want that to happen as soon as that comes in. And if you notice here, we have the notes saying that we're automatically remediating this immediately, that the bucket identified was successful, external access was disabled, and the operation completed successfully. So as soon as this alert came in, we took action even before the responder was notified, and using the same event bridge functionality to take care of that. So PagerDuty will initiate that link and link that result back to our notes. And an important part of this is that no matter what the engineer's access level, that on-call person has access to required diagnostic resources that they need. This automation ensures that the least amount of privilege is given to the right people and the underlying resources remain secure. It's often true that large financial services organizations use an ITSM system like ServiceNow as their system of record for incident management and other needs. Every critical incident needs to be recorded and updated there. When you're adding a new AWS service like GuardDuty or Control Tower, in order to be internally secure and compliant, you need to make sure that your system of record is always updated. Having your responders responsible for keeping notes in two places is a recipe for missing or poor data. Now you're out of compliance. Do you really want to build an integration for every AWS service that you need to add? PagerDuty already has integrations at the top for the top ITSM systems and will coordinate trading data between them. So here you can see that PagerDuty's already connected this incident to a new ServiceNow incident. If I have access, I can click into that incident, and then you'd be able to see that this all the data that we've collected in PagerDuty is being pushed over to your system of record. And as we take actions in PagerDuty to triage, to remediate, to resolve, those are going to be pushed over to ServiceNow. So here's that parallel incident in ServiceNow that you can see that all the notes that we did, we've now duplicated here. If I'm a ServiceNow person that's working here, I don't need to go into PagerDuty to ask questions or is it fixed, right? We can set that up as a note, save the note, right? And that will be pushed back into PagerDuty, right? So that it'll appear in one of these notes when the API pushes it across. So the beauty of that is that I don't need to double post as a PagerDuty user, as a responder. My job is full enough. The last thing I need to do is have to go into all the other systems and maintain these parallel tickets just in order to stay in compliance. Let PagerDuty do the work for you. Let us push that information back and forth so that it doesn't have to be managed by a person. The technology will take care of it for you. So you can see that the note has appeared back and forth. This kind of seamless integration and automation saves everyone time, toil, and keeps your incident management process security compliant. Now, anytime that there's a high severity incident disrupting customer experience or possible security exposure, your business service owners and other stakeholders will want to be informed on what's going on. They're going to be asking questions like, how long till we're back up? How many other customers have been impacted? Has our data been exposed? These are all important questions, and the responders don't have a lot of time to go figure out these answers and who do I talk to and how do I format all of that information. PagerDuty does provide a channel to keep those relevant stakeholders up to date with messages just for them. As a responder, it's up to me to assign the updates to the right people, craft the correct message. But why don't we let PagerDuty do that for us? So right up here, there's a run a play. And what I can do is set up a play that when there's an external security issue, I can push a button to do a number of things. What it will do is might set a new conference bridge. It might add some responders that are people that I need to have on here. It may go to the status updates and push out a message that says a P1 external security issue has been opened. For more information, join the conference bridge to the right teams. So now, as a responder, I didn't have to know who to notify or what to say or what the standard verbiage is. That was all templated for me in a response play. Custom response plays can assign those kind of conference bridges and those stakeholders automatically. It's another thing for your responders not to have to deal with. So now let's resolve this incident. And now we're done, right? Not quite. What we really want to do is make sure that this doesn't happen again. And that's what we do with the postmortem. Once this problem has been resolved, creating a blameless postmortem within the PagerDuty platform enriches the response process with learnings and generates best practices for that type of issue. Here, teams capture what they did right and what they could have done better. So if I click into a new postmortem, and let me go into here, we can see the kinds of things we're going to do. The overview, what happened, what did we do to fix it, what was the root cause, what did we do well and what didn't we do well. This kind of information helps us feed back into our process to get better. And we can capture from the PagerDuty timeline into the documentation who did what when and how it went, what sequence of things went down. So capturing this information is critical to getting things right and closing the loop and creating that learning culture that we talked about. Digital transformation can be especially challenging for financial services organizations, but with the right ecosystem of partners and digital operations management set up, they can navigate those additional compliance and security regulations while delivering high availability and seamless services to their customers. PagerDuty and AWS are enabling the financial sector to shift to the cloud safely and securely while minimizing customer impact and downtime and speeding up innovation to keep up with customer demands.
So to see for yourself what PagerDuty and AWS can do for you, sign up for a free trial. Thank you for coming to this presentation.